What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to do the final phase 7 of the 100% plus Zamorak fight. So if you're struggling with that final phase, just stay tuned and you will see how to do it. So now we are on to the gear recommendations. I would highly recommend having a fractured staff for this. This is obviously really high-end endgame content, so I think it's fitting that it requires endgame gear, but I think you could get away with something like a Staff of Slisk or anything like that as long as you have a Zuck Cape. You're also going to need a Zuck Cape. I would find the DPS checks to be very difficult to do without this. It just spits out damage, so obviously you're going to want that. You're also going to want 3 or more pieces of Crypt Bloom, although I would suggest having 5 pieces of magic tank armor for your gear setup, with only 3 of those have to be Crypt Bloom, however. And then obviously you'll need Animate Dead with that. And then you're going to need a Vitality Pot. This helps a lot to increase your HP for the massive hits so you can survive them without hitting the execution. And then finally, the Hellhound Familiar. If you don't know what this thing does, it absorbs 20% damage and then takes it onto itself, and it will eventually die, but you can heal it with scrolls. So that 20% damage reduction is going to be massive for the final phase because you just take a ton of damage and it's hard to heal. So before we get into phase 7, I'm just going to say this real quick. You can see here how I kill Zamorak with nearly 100% HP and adrenaline. This is going to be really important because it makes the final phase 7 much easier. You don't have to spend time healing or building or anything like that. You could just do it. So before we dive into phase 7, I'm going to explain a couple little things real quick. So first off, you are going to want to kill the runes pretty quickly because they heal Zamorak and they also give Zamorak more power. So if you take a long time to kill the runes, his attacks become extremely powerful and they'll probably just one-hit you. So yeah, kill them pretty quick. So as soon as you get into the phase 7 fight, Zamorak will spawn a Chaos Demon, you simply kill the demon, and then Zamorak will pull a rune from one of the runes spots to him, and you can see that here. Once he pulls that rune, you go over and kill it. Now for the first rune, my rotation is always Omni Power, some basics, and then for the second rune, I always Tsunami, Staff Spec, and then try to get to 100% with an Adrenaline Pot. You can use basics like Anticipate or Freedom or something to build if you don't think you're going to make it, but you want to be 100% when that rune dies so you can meta for the Zamorak portion of the fight. So as soon as you kill that rune, you are going to want to pray melee, attack Zamorak, and do as much damage as possible. So however much HP Zamorak has, you have to do all of that in around 10 seconds in order to do this in one cycle. If not, you're going to have to repeat this process. So after the melee attacks happen, Zamorak is going to throw a giant red ball that's going to hit extremely hard at you. This is where you use Disruption Shield and a Vitality, or honestly, just a Vitality Pot alone probably will work if you're high HP. So there are 2 different rotations that I would suggest using for this. The first one, if you have a lot of adrenaline, is Wild Magic Tendril Omni, and that should get it pretty close to being dead with a staff spec. But if you don't have a lot of adrenaline, you will always have at least 20%, so you can always Limitless and use Tendrils. So Limitless Tendrils Wild Magic Omni is a super good rotation in order to pull this off. Okay, so now I'm going to run it back in real time just so you can see how fast you have to do everything. If you fail to get Zamorak in one cycle, you're going to get another round of melee attacks and then another large red ball. So all you have to do is pray melee after he becomes immune again, and then use something like Reflect and Debilitate or Disruption Shield, or whatever other thing you have to reduce the damage. and then it just repeats the process. Another demon spawns, and then you kill the runes, and then you kill him. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps you get a few 100% plus kills, and if this helped you, be sure to drop a like on the video. See you in the next one, guys.